everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyandiss, and I am on a journey of paying off over $200,000 worth of debt. In today's video, we're going to go over my budget that I have created for my first paycheck of November. So this paycheck is going to span from November 1st through November 14th, and I got some other things to yap about. So let's get started. Okay, so to start off, we have my income. My paycheck is going to be $3,400. I've said in previous videos it is a little bit over that. It's like $34.49 or something like that, but I always take that extra $49 or $40, whatever it is, and put it towards my student loan. So just to have an even number, we're starting with $3,400. So our fixed expenses, starting with the rent, okay? $1,384. If you watch my other videos, you know usually it's $1,354. I did go ahead and get one of the reserved parking spots, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I've only had it for like 2 weeks now, and when I tell you, almost every time I come home, somebody's in my spot. So then I have to take the time to call the office or emergency maintenance, and then they call the tow people, and it's always like a whole thing. And so I don't know if having to do that all the time, and then I still have to like look around for a spot, is worth me paying $1 a day to park. It just honestly seems like it's too much right now. But I'll make the decision closer to the 31st. I'm going to talk to the office about it too, see what they say, because right now I'm just overwhelmed with every time I come home, I have to deal with this. Okay, so moving on, we have our phone bill, which is $84.42. My car payment is $550.32. Now, I have a Buick Envista, and you know the manufacturer or whatever it's called is GM. And they have like a rewards program, and you can collect points for things. So like buying things for your car, so getting mats or like accessories for the car, whatever, getting like your routine maintenance, all that stuff. When you get it done or pay for it, whatever, through Buick or GM, you get points, and then you can use those points to go towards your car payment. I have like a little over 6,000 points, and it ends up, I think it's like, I don't know the direct point transfer. It feels like each point is like a penny or something. But I can get like $61 or something off of my car payment. I actually am due for an oil change coming up soon, so I'm going to hold on to my points, do that, and I might actually buy some mats because it's going to be winter time pretty soon. It already feel like it, but like it'll be snowing, gross on the ground. So I might get some mats and stuff too, and then once we accumulate all those points, we'll go ahead and use it towards one of our upcoming payments and save a couple of dollars. My Apple storage is $299, Patreon $540, Apple Music is $647, and then for HBO Max, I got an email saying that the price was going to increase, but it didn't tell me like how much with tax. So I'm just estimating it to be like $6.10. It could be a little more, a little less. It's not going to be a ton more, but something around that. So our total for our fixed expenses is $2,064.70. So when we subtract that from the income, we are left with $1,335.30. Now for our variable expenses, first we're going to start with the electric bill. It's $70.76. I've been really trying to like turn my lights off when I'm leaving a room. This is all kind of almost one big room. Like the kitchen's right there, and then I have like the living room space, and then I have the bedroom and the bathroom. And so there are a lot of like lights in here, and they all have different switches. So I'm trying to like be better at, if I'm like in the kitchen cooking something, I don't have these lights in the living room on, and vice versa. Or like if I'm going to take a shower, I can go turn all these lights out here off because I'm in the bathroom anyway. So like there's no need to have these lights on. So I've been doing better at it. I could probably be a little bit better. I do like having the lights over my island on when I'm just kind of like sitting on the couch, so that like I don't need the lights above me. And then I have my lamp right there, but it's not really bright. It's more for like a mood, really. But we've been doing better, like I said. And I think one of my last bills was like $92. And right now the bill is $70.76. All that to say, the bill is $70.76. What I'm going to be interested to see is this winter, once I start like using my heat, how is that going to work? I probably am going to get like a heated blanket or something. Even now, like, it's cold and I'll be sleeping with the heating pad under me. So maybe I'll get like a heated blanket, heated sheet or something, so that I don't have to have the air on hell all the time. But I like to be warm, so we'll see how this is going to play out. Gas, we budget $70 as usual, and then food $200. So all that together comes to $340.76. And then when you subtract that from what we had left over after fixed expenses, we have $994.54. Okay. And then for our debt, so starting with the Ally credit card, our payment is $75. My first Capital One card is $77. My PayPal, I'm putting $50 towards that. I think the minimum is $30, but I'm like, let's add a little more so we can pay this off. I owe like 200 something. It might be 229, somewhere like that. But I was like, that's my lowest, I think, credit balance. So at the same time, paying off my student loans, let's knock out these credit cards too. And then for Credit One is $30. So all that is $232. I do have a second Capital One card, but I had bought like some stuff from Old Navy online because everything was 50% off, and I'm a person who gets sucked into a sale. And like I'm almost 100% sure I clicked on the card that was for my debit card, because I was like, I don't want to add anything else to my credit cards. But then like I get a notification that it was like on my credit card. So I was very confused how that happened. But either way, I just went ahead and paid that amount from my bank account so that it would like zero out. And that like cover my minimum payment for the month. So no payment on that card. So all that together, $232. When we subtract that from the $994.54, we're left with $762.54. Now, what are we going to do with this leftover money? Okay. Savings and debt. Well, not really debt, student loans, because I mean it is debt, but whatever. So we're going to put $400 towards my New York City trip that is coming up in December, and I need to like get my flight, book my hotel. And I'm going to, so when I went to New York this last time, I didn't like budget out my money for dinner or like any other experiences. I just spent it, and then now I have, a $1,600 Amex bill. I mean, most of it's from the hotel, but like still. So what I'm planning to do is save an amount, and then we'll get the hotel, get the flight, and then anything left over, that's what we can spend on like our food and dining, which is really all like I buy when I'm in New York, because I'm not like buying souvenirs and stuff. Like, what do I need that for? But whatever's left out of that is how we're going to determine what we can spend. And then some of it is already set. So like I have my ticket to go see the New York Knicks. I have my 2 Christmas tour tickets. I don't have like tickets to go see the plays that I want yet. So that's something I need to figure out. Like, what show am I going to go to? Am I going to get like good seats or great seats? So, but all that needs to come directly from the savings account. And I'm going to do my most disciplinedness and not like spend money that was not already allocated for this stuff. Okay. And then for my Paris trip, we're putting in $100, and then just more towards the emergency savings, another $50. Not really emergency, just kind of savings at this point. And then that leaves us with like $112 and some change. And we're going to put $75 towards one loan, $119. And then we're going to do $37 towards loan 118. I decided to put more towards loan 119 because I remember talking about it in one of my early videos, how like, do I need a small win? And I actually really think that I do. Seeing my balance, like I make a payment, goes down, then like 2 days later it's almost near where it was before. It's really like messing with my mind. And I know I really have only been paying this stuff for like the last month, but like, when am I gonna see a difference? Like this is too much. And so it was making me feel like I wasn't doing anything, because I just feel like the balance, like it'll go down and it goes right back up, and then it goes down and goes like, what more do you want me to do? I don't know. But I'll talk more about that in a second. And then I am going to Cleveland for a couple of things to see my family next weekend. So I budgeted $100 for that. So that'll be like 100 towards like extra gas, and then I'm sure I'm gonna eat out a couple of times while I'm there. But I'm actually gonna try and get my dad to pay for that, but we'll see. So $100 for that, and that's the budget. Like I was saying a couple of seconds ago, the student loan thing was like making me feel really, really down. And so I do need to actually get a small win and pay off loan 119 quickly to just feel like I'm getting some traction. Honestly, for one loan 18, I don't know how much I've paid towards it. And I probably need to go back and look, or maybe it's on the tracker of like what it started at. But it feels like the total's not going down. And I think in one of my older videos, I said like 5 of my student loans or 3 of my student loans, something like that, generate 75% of the interest. So really and truly, like after I get this small win, hopefully that helps me lock in to even like go harder. So one thing I did decide to do was I'm going to cut my budget, and I want to put an extra $1,000 towards my loan. So this will come from like my regular paycheck, and I'm trying to figure out like how feasible is that actually going to be for me. I want to put an extra, so like I really want to put an extra $1,000 from my regular paycheck towards my loan every month. That's not going to be something that we do in November, because I just decided this really a couple of days ago, because it seems like I'm not getting anywhere. But I got this book, okay? I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I think that's how you say it. Don't get mad at me. I got the book. This was already on my read list for like a very long time, but you just got to be in the mood sometime for a book. And so since I've been working at the cleaning job, I've been listening to like more books and podcasts and things. And so I was like, okay, it came up that I could get the audiobook, so I started listening to it the other day. And even in like the first chapter, he was saying some stuff that I really liked. And so I'm like, okay, how can I apply this to my situation? So the thing that really resonated with me was like, what 3 categories do you really like don't want to cut back your spending on, or like that you really value, that you're willing to spend on? My number 1 is travel. I don't want to sit in the back of the plane. I want the leg room, especially for any flight that's over like 3 hours. I want some leg room. I don't want to like skimp on where I'm eating or trying food and stuff like that when I'm in a place because of the money and whatnot. If I want to go somewhere, like I'm gonna go to Thailand, and honestly that was like my number 1 place that I wanted to go for my birthday. Really wasn't feasible this year, but like next year, why not? And so I need to be able to spend on travel. So that's number 1. My second category was self-care. I love getting my nails, my feet, hair, all that stuff. I want it done. I'm paying for the Pilates class that I really want to go. Like, there's non-negotiable. The one thing I was thinking about cutting from self-care was my nails. I used to do my nails myself when I was in business school. I could do them again. I could. I'm not saying I am, but I could. Because paying like $100 every time to get my nails done is like $1,200 a year, which is like the amount that loan 119 is. It can be paid, you know? So I'm still considering it. I'm not gonna make the decision right now until maybe like the top of the year. I just really need to see how I feel, and then maybe once I like pay the $1,000 for the first time in December towards my student loans for my regular paycheck, we'll just kind of see how things go. But I also don't have any of my nail stuff anymore, so I got rid of like my lights, my polishes, all the tools, everything that I had. I got rid of it because I was never planning on doing my nails myself again. So we would have to like reinvest in all those products again. I'm thinking, I don't really have company and stuff like that come to my house or like have people in here. So maybe I could be convinced into having like a big studio, not a small one, because this ain't New York. I don't need to do that. But have like a big studio instead of a 1-bedroom, because I mean, but then where my couch go? I don't know. That's neither here nor there right now. But I wouldn't mind having a cheaper apartment because I don't want to stay here, and it'll just be like for another like year and a half. So I could be convinced, but it has to be like the right apartment complex, because this is not the right complex. I love my apartment here. The complex I hate. One other thing, this might be the last thing. I don't know. You know, I be thinking of stuff that I want to say in my videos, and I need to write them down. I be thinking I'm going to remember, and I'm really not. But I feel like I have these competing priorities when it comes to like paying all this debt off. Having the car doesn't bother me, because I mean, it gets me to where I need to go. That's fine. But like having the credit card debt and the student loans, it's like maybe I should be paying more towards my credit cards, because you know, they technically have higher interest rate, but they're not generating as much towards interest. And then eventually, I don't think any of my cards I feel like have great perks. I think both Capital Ones are like cash back, and then you know you can use that to buy stuff and whatever. But I do want a card that has like great perks. So like an airline card or like a Chase Sapphire card, something like that. So I need to obviously get my credit better, and part of that is like lowering my utilization. It's not like crazy high right now, but it's still a high balance for me in dollars. So just getting that lower would help, and then I could use the perks from whatever card I get towards travel and you know the food and all those other things. So it's like, do I invest more of my money on that side, because like it could be useful for me and I could spend less of my dollars on travel and still be able to travel how I want to? Or do I just invest everything in the student loans, even though that's not really giving me any sense of joy right now? It's actually dread every time I sign on to the Ed Financial website. I don't know. But it's something I'm going to think about. Like I said, I put extra money towards my PayPal one. I really probably could pay it off. It is going to be paid off by the end of the year because it's less than $200. So that'll be paid off, and I could probably pay off the credit one too. That one's not really high. It might be like, it's $2 something or $300. They're around, when you add them together, I think they're about $500 together. But I really need to like hone in on a plan and kind of stick to it, at least for like a few months, and then you know we can reevaluate. So I really want to thank you guys and everyone who's been watching my videos, commenting, liking. I don't know if people share them, but if you did, thank you so much. And that's it for today, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I said I was going to make this video short, but I don't think it's short. I didn't have no choice but to be like a front-facing yapper, and I'm not mad at it. Like, I kind of like it. So